What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. It is Wednesday, June 12th. It's just after 10 a.m. Yup, already doing the market recap for you guys. I'm not taking any trades today. I'm just getting a bad vibe in the market right now, and when I get bad vibes and I don't like what I see at the open, I'm not trying to stick around and force trades. I gotta walk away, preserve my capital. Tomorrow's always a new day. But let's go over real quick what happened this morning, what made me come to my decision to walk away. The market's crap, in my opinion, for small caps. Let's jump into it. First one, IMRN keeps running up and running up from this 350 level right here. But as you can see, every time. It's already been halted 3 times now. You got to be careful with the stock that keeps getting halt like this. And this has been happening a lot lately. All this week we've been seeing stocks getting halted left and right, left and right. I don't know what's going on. Something's got to be going on with the halts. I hope they didn't change the rules on it. But it used to be the volatility halt of if a stock moves more than 15% within 4 minutes, it'll get halted. But usually the first half hour, they'll just let the stocks run. But we've been seeing it a lot lately with INSY, IMRN, NBY. But IMRN for me is untouchable because every time it reopens, it runs up $1 and gets halted. So far it's ran from 350 and it's currently halted at 6. SYBX, real quick pop from 7.15 all the way up to almost $9. It pulled back right here to 760s, but then it ripped right back up over 8 to 840 really fast and just ran into a whole bunch of selling. Came right back down, no follow through, no momentum, and it failed from the 770 level. Just look at this quick pop right there from $8. And that long wick all the way up to 840. That's where, if you're trying to market order in when a stock has momentum and a stock's about to break, that can really screw you. Because if you market order in at that mental level, $8, and it's got momentum, you can get filled way up here at 840, and then it'll rip right back down to $8. And look what happened. It never came back. And then before you know it, you're still holding on to it, and it's at 770, and then it cracks and falls down to 740. That's $1 loss for you. But there was one just real quick pop on this, but that's weak in my opinion. Also, real quick, let me see something. On the FIPS here, it pulled back to the 76.4 level and popped right off of it. BLIN was on watch 2 this morning. Opens right below $4, ran up to $4, pulled back down to 370, and then started to U-shape back on up. And I'm watching this on the tape. It just touched $4. It ran through all the orders that were sitting on the ask, and it just didn't budge. And that lost faith in longs, so they're going to give up. And look what happened. All the way down. BLIN was like the #1 watch this morning, but when it couldn't break that $4 level, it just cracked and fell to the downside. Buyers simply just gave up on it. TOCA kept moving up and moving up and moving up. Very, very light volume at 288,000, going from 515 all the way up to 635, and then now getting a pullback down to this $6 area. So might be able to keep an eye on the $6 area for TOCA for a possible bounce back up to this high up here. But I'm not gonna stick around. This is why I'm doing the recap early. I'm getting bad vibes in the market. I don't want to stick around. Like I said, it's all about account preservation and listening to what the market is telling you. Just as it gets a surge down right there. INSY, this thing's just been up and down, up and down. Look at this thing. From way back Friday, closing at $1.50 to gapping down. They claimed bankruptcy, a pop back up to $1, sold off. Yesterday, going from 68 cents, selling all the way down to 16 cents. That would have been a killer short right there. And then look at today, from 22 cents all the way up to 63 cents now. This thing's just been back and forth, back and forth. Already at 33 million in volume. But I'm not going to chase and play this. Did set up a nice little wedge right here before the open at 32 cents. Really nice pop all the way up to 50 cents. That mental area. Pulled back to the VWAP, 36 cents. Right back up to the high of 50 cents. Pulled back. And that's when they got that push, and now it's going crazy. Running probably all the way up to 75 cents. Hold on, I just want to watch this real quick. That's a big move on INSY. This thing's been very, very volatile for a penny stock under $1. I haven't seen a stock under $1 move like this in a long time. But I'd look for it to probably pull back to this 50-cent area. That mental area. And maybe it might retest this 75 cent again. And run up to $1. But if nothing's going on in the market, volume could very well keep pumping into INSY if nothing else is going on. CBay was on watch. It was gapping up slightly, but it's just been selling off after the market opened, down to $6. CTRV, wicked sell-off this morning from 870 all the way down to 770, and then just grinds all the way back up to where it opened. And JAGX, very, very big spread on this. A 50-cent spread on the level 2. Right at the open, just below $10. Rips all the way down to 880. Bounces up to 950. And then just slowly but surely is just puttering out. NBY was on watch for me at this $2 level. This $2 level, like I said yesterday, was going to be a really important level for NBY because $2 has been support all right here and right here, getting nice pops up to $2.50 and even running up to $3 and all the way up to almost $5. So as we retraced and came all the way back down, today I was looking for $2, a nice bounce, maybe a retest of 250 again, but NBY just fell below that $2 mark, and now look at her. She's just slowly starting to get momentum and fall off. See how it fell below $2, and then when it came right back up, $2 was resistance on it. Even though it did poke over it a little bit, running up to 208, that's not showing strength. I wanted $2 to hold, and for it to hold above $2 showing strength. But NBY has had a heck of a run, going from 30 cents all the way up to almost $5. It can't keep going and going and going. So let it sell off, do what it's got to do. The next big level on it is $1.25. There was one more. XYN, look at that, getting another pop from 340 up to 435. As the day goes on, the morning part, you'll see the news taking effect with the volume, and then later in the day as you go after 10 a.m., that's when you'll start to see low floats start to pop up. If the stocks with the news ain't doing nothing, traders are desperate, they want to trade, they're going to gravitate to the low floats because they're easy to manipulate. That's why you'll see every day a lot of low floats just simply rip up and then rip right back down. Because you got a lot of these low float pump chat rooms all out there buying together to rip the stock price up, hoping that it goes off on everybody's scanners and everybody gravitates to the one stock. Sometimes it happens, a lot of time it doesn't happen. But I'll tell you, when it does happen, that's when you could really see a stock just go berserk, supernova parabolic, just like we had with JAGX yesterday. INSY pulling back down to that 50 cent level. See what I'm saying? It topped out here at around 75 cents. That's going to be a mental level. So let this pull back. The next level was 50 cents. It tested it right here, and it tested it right here, and then it finally blew through right there. So that was an area of interest. So that's if it gets above that area of interest, and when it pulls back, when it pulls all the way back down, chances are this 50 cent is going to be the next support. And that's when you could see a nice bounce from 50 cents, and it'll grind all the way back up to the highs. You gotta have patience. It took me a long time to learn that. But look at everything. Everything's just got bad juju on it, and I just gotta take what the market's telling me and move on. Tiva, I wanted to talk about getting a little bit of a gap down from 9. And look at this, it's just a big sell-off from 9 all the way down to 8. Big sell-off on this. Teva Pharma and Endo Pharma hit new lows as generic drug stocks continue to tumble. So something had to have just happened with generic drugs. Pharmaceuticals are a world of their own. I was listening to a podcast last night, and this guy was talking about how as a trader, you got to find what works for you. And that's why you got to learn from multiple traders to see what's out there in the market and develop a trading strategy developed around your personality. And he was like, there's people out there who just trade pharmaceuticals. There's people out there that only play when FDA or when the feds come out with rate hikes. There's people out there that only play when the feds make an announcement. There's people out there that only play earnings plays. There's people out there that only play new IPOs. There's all kinds of traders out there, and all these traders, they focus on what they're good at, and that's how they make their money. So as a trader, it's all about finding what you're good at, focusing only on that, and the rest is just noise. That's why I don't get on stock twits or anything. It's all noise. You really just want to focus on what you're doing. But I'll jump on YouTube and I'll share because I like sharing and helping other people. Because I was there. Being a new trader sucks. It's a lot to learn. Let's take a look at the overall market real quick. The SPY, really choppy this morning. Doesn't know which way it wants to go yet. You can see here right at the open, right before the open, it gets a surge up. And then market opens, it surges right back down, and then surges back up, back down. Keeps getting pounded down right now, but very choppy so far at the open. And that's just what's been going on with all these small caps. A lot of them have been popping up and coming right back down. See, look at that INSY. Ripped up to that 75 cent, pulled all the way back, and look at that level it bounced at. Not exactly 50 cents, but the general area. It bounced right at 55 cents, all the way up to almost 70 cents. And now watch, it'll probably form a wedge or something. It'll form a wedge, and it might break to the upside, it might break to the downside. That's why you'll always see people talk about chart patterns as well. Like there's bullish ascending wedge or there's a bearish descending wedge. I look at patterns as they can go either way. There is no really right way a pattern breakout could go until it breaks out of the pattern and confirms that it's heading in that direction. That's why when I see a lot of patterns form, wedges, even ascending wedges, a bullish pattern, I always say it could either break to the upside or downside. See, IMRN's got halted 4 times. And that's why you don't want to chase a stock that's getting halted every time it opens. From 450 up to 5 gets halted, gaps up to 550, runs up to 6, gets halted, opens back up at 650. And then look at that, a quick pop to 680, and then falls all the way down. Just below $6, gets halted, opens back up at 550, real quick pop, and then keeps falling. Because everybody who chased it and bought all right here are trying to unload on it and either break even, take what profit they can, or just get me out. I always have the fear of when I see a stock getting halted every time like this, getting caught in a T12 halt. Because I've seen some pretty nasty T12 halts. But I hope you guys are all having a great trading day. If you haven't taken any trades, don't worry. Tomorrow's always a new day. If you traded and took that profit, don't overstay your welcome. Always make that profit and lock it in. Don't give it back to the market. Don't give those hard earnings back. This is what you study so hard for. You got to remember, you're a professional profit taker. Small gains add up over time. Remember that as well. CTRV after that run up, I mean, it's just no volume going into it. I'm just not seeing anything today. See, we got RKDA here going from 5 all the way up to 550. Just no volume. And I've been seeing a lot too. We've got these huge moves up, and then we just have a huge just sell off on it, because traders, this is the type of market we're in right now. You got to pay attention to what's going on. Seeing a lot of huge surges up and then huge surges down, because traders are taking their profit. As soon as they get it, they're taking profit. That's why we're seeing these huge rips up and huge rips down. OHRP. This was the stock I was talking about a long time ago. A week ago. Yeah. Look at this thing. This was on watch at this $3 level. Way back here. I liked how it was setting up this wedge right at $3 right here. And then it finally got above that $3 and it topped out here at $3.25. And then it kept consolidating and sitting here all at $3. It's a super low float stock. I finally took my eyes off of it, and look what happened. From 3 gets ripped up to 370. That's why you got to keep these low float stocks on watch if they're setting up a pattern, because volume could come into it at any time. And look what happened today. I had this on watch like last week and 2 weeks ago, and it finally breaks out today. Very choppy, but from 3 all the way up to 350, pulls back, got tighter and tighter right there, and then from 340 rips all the way up to 375. Just really light volume though. OHRP is only at 82,000 in volume. So if you have a low float stock like this popping off and volume isn't pumping into it, that's a sign right there that there's no volume in the market. Volume's currently somewhere else. But is there anything you guys want me to go over real quick before we end the live stream? I'm about to call it a day, walk away from the markets. I'm not going to stick around and force trades when the overall market's crap. And when I talk about the overall market's crap, I'm talking about small caps, because that's what I trade, is small cap stocks. Stocks under 20 bucks. Yeah, IMRN. People just gave up on it. It might be halted again, I don't know. But once it starts getting a sign of a downtrend, everybody's going to start unloading it, hitting market order sell from 680 all the way back down to 450. Got to be careful with these low float stocks. I think after BLIN and it not being able to break out from that $4 level, I think that hurt a lot of people. This was the hot stock this morning. Man, gotta think though too. Everybody who's seen this run up from 3 all the way up to almost 4, and when it pulled all the way back down to this 320 level right here, gotta think of everybody who bought in all at this level pre-market and rode it all the way back up and then waited for it for the market open, and when it opened, all the people who bought right here are unloading on you right there. That should be a sign right there too. Look at all these long wicks right there, right at $4. That's telling me there's a huge iceberg order right there because it tested it 1, 2, 3, about 4 times. And then, like I said, buyers give up. And then from 4, surged all the way down to 335. But nice bounce here at 3, up to 325. You see that a lot. Stocks like bouncing off of whole dollar numbers, getting a nice little bounce all the way up to 325. OHRP. Yeah, see, there's just no volume pumping into it. But I think I'm not going to stick around. Hopefully you guys were able to capitalize on today. I'm going to walk away, call it an early day. It's all about account preservation and always listening to the market and not pushing it. You don't want to stick around and hand your account and all that hard money that you've earned, especially Monday and Tuesday or last week, the money that you've earned. You don't want to stick around, force trades, and give it all back to the market. Hold on to that capital. Take this time right now when it's slow and just study. Go back and look at all the stocks that recently popped off. Take screenshots of all the charts and study them. JAGX, NBY, CTRV, INSY. There's all kinds of them. Solely. VUZI at the end of the day. VUZI got a nice pop today. From 340 all the way up to 4. But that's going to about wrap it up, guys. Again, hopefully you guys had a great trading day. If you didn't take any trades, no worries. Tomorrow's always a new day. If you don't ever see any great setups, just don't worry. Don't freak out. The market's always going to be here tomorrow. Always want to take your time. There's a great saying that I've heard from Jesse Livermore, I believe. You know, I make my money waiting, sitting and waiting. Traders don't trade all the time. As traders, we're always just sitting and waiting, looking at charts, waiting for the stocks to come to us. Don't go chasing after the stocks. Let all those sheep that are signed up to those trading gurus, let them chase everything that their guru puts out there. And then be that wolf that sits back and let them pump it all up. Let them chase it. That's when you got the edge. You have that patience and you wait. You wait for it to pull back. And that's when you really nail them. Let me see Beyond Meats real quick. After that big, look at that. BYND from $100 ran all the way up to 185. And that comes all the way back down. It's been bouncing off this 125 level finding resistance at 145. This stock has just been wild. Let's see. JMIA's up today from 22.50 up to 24.30. There's always opportunity in the markets. Always. You just gotta look around. There's all kinds of stuff out there. It's just like Warrior Trading said, too. Every single day, no matter what, there's always a stock that gains at least 10% on the day. Always. United States oil's down. Gush is getting a little sell-off right now. Gold's up. Would have been a nice opportunity on Gush and Drip from 15.40 all the way up to almost 16. Let's see. Oil's heating up. That's what I'm seeing. And the semiconductor as well. So what we got here? SYBX holding that 760 level as support this morning. It failed support and that 760 level turned into resistance. So let's take a look. Yup, right there. You can see it plain as day. Stock pops from 710 all the way up to 880. Pulled back right at this 760 level. You see how it bounced right off that 760 up to $8. Even poked through it one time up to almost 850. Fell through that 760. Made a new support here at 730. Grinds all the way back up, and that 760 is now resistance. That's a good example of these stocks like to move in stages. Then you'll be watching it, and if it goes over this 760 level very, very slowly, you'll look for it to try to slowly reclaim it and then hold it as support and then work its way on up to the previous resistance, which would have been $8. But the VWAP is trending down, so 790 it would have ran into. The more times a stock tests a level, support or resistance, the weaker that support or resistance line gets. So I just seen a video yesterday that put it all into sense from True Trading Group. When you got a stock that's at support levels, you don't really want it to come down and hang around support, because all these people are getting filled that are sitting on the bid. And if you got a stock hanging around support and they're all getting filled, then who else do you have to buy it? You don't have a demand for the stock if people are sitting around waiting for it to get filled. What you want is for that stock to keep pushing upwards to make those people who are sitting on the bid waiting to get filled, you want them to lift up and move their orders up from the support right here at 720 if it broke through this resistance at 760 and started moving up, you want them to lift up their orders and put their new orders here at 760. That way there's a demand for the stock, like I said. And then when it comes back down, that's when you'll see a stock, a lot of times, it'll pinpoint down right at the support and rip right back up because it's filling the people that are sitting there at support on the bid and then running back up because people keep taking the ask. But that was a good video from True Trading Group. It's sometimes when you know something, it's nice to hear other people say it and break it down in their point of view to make that aha sense, to make a better, clear sense of it. But that's what it's all about in the stock market: supply and demand. If you got a, like I said, if you got a stock, it's just hanging around and just sitting at support and it's not moving, there's no demand for it. So where's the motivation going to come for the stock to move up? Unless people take the ask. And then that's when you'll see a rip. IMRN still, look at that, just straight up and straight down. Pretty much almost back to where it started. And it's only got 1.3, where is it at? IMRN. 1.8 million in volume. Starts at 350, ran all the way up to 680, and then all the way back down to $4. 50 cents from where it first started. Now look at from 4, it's starting to get a nice pop. And it'll probably pop to this 450 level. Man, look at this right here. It tried bouncing right here at 460. Could only get up to 490 and then failed. And look at that rip down, and it runs into a halt at 450. Gaps down and reopens at $4. That's nasty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times this thing's been halted. Let's take a look at INSY one time real quick again. See exactly what, pretty much what I said. This thing will probably form a wedge. Looks like a descending wedge. But it could break either way, up or down. Just all depends if there's a demand there for it when it breaks. You'll even see market makers play games. If you see a pattern forming, it'll break to the upside and it'll rip real hard, and then they'll yank it and it'll fall right back down and it'll slam hard. That's why you gotta pay close attention to stocks. It's just like watching a movie, watching the tape, the bid and the ask. Every single candle on a chart counts. Paying attention to what the stock's telling you, and honestly, you'll get tips of what the stock is saying to you. You'll see if there is a supply and demand there for the stock. You'll see levels of where it likes to move at. Every weekend, I love going over charts and just breaking down charts. Let me show you guys an example. I'll just take screenshots of charts, plot out all my lines, write notes. draw my levels out, and just study how a stock did. And this is how you get better as a trader. I do this every single weekend. LGCY. Liked old resistance right there. Became support right there. From 20 cents up to 40 cents. Resistance, resistance, resistance. It's a lot of... This is how you get better as a trader. Taking screenshots of charts, breaking them down, writing notes on them, and saving them. But I also like to take pictures of a lot of charts. That way if I make videos in the future, I can go back and look through my charts and use some of the charts for some examples. But INSY so far looks to be the only stock in play. And it's currently in a descending wedge. It could fall to the downside. It could pop to the upside. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I'm going to take this early day and get out of here. I'm not going to stick around. So, again, hopefully you guys are all had a great trading day. And it's hump day. It's Wednesday, June 12th. We're almost at 10:45 a.m. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, Thursday. We're almost at the end of the week. Alright, guys. Until next time, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study as always. Later, guys.